to be the spark that lit up the night, but now you're just a flame that burns too bright. You thought you had me under your control, but I'm breaking free, gonna steal the show. You played your games, thought you had me fooled, but now it's time to face the truth. I'm stronger now, won't let you bring me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Greg Stewart Show. Today we have an amazing show. I get people to write in all the time about certain issues that they're going through in their life, and this is no different now. One of the recent ones that I received as of late is a person in Oklahoma. Now, before we get into this story, please help the growth of this podcast by subscribing, like, share, and comment. Your words have been going a long way. People are responding. I'm getting a lot of comments in reference to giving them some insight of what they can do as a life coach, but you still haven't subscribed yet. It would really be helpful if you can subscribe, and I thank the other listeners who have subscribed and anyone new coming onto the podcast. Thank you so much. All right, without further ado, this is a very interesting one. This is Caesar, and he's in Oklahoma, and he's struggling with something he's never thought he'd have to deal with. And I'm going to let you hear about it because I'm going to read it to you first, what was stated to me. Hello, Greg. I'm 31. My wife is 27. This is a hard decision for me. I am considering divorcing the woman that I have loved for the last 9 years. And we've been married for the last 4 years. Well, a few months ago, I discovered that my wife was having intimate relationships, and I did say relationships, with a large number of people that just blew my mind. I came home and I heard voices coming from the room. Music was blaring. I was home earlier than she expected. When I walked in, much to my chagrin, my wife was not only with another man, but she was also with a woman. So at this point, I requested that the people would leave my home immediately. I was itching to speak to my wife about what I just seen. What my wife said to me was the following. When I confronted her, she had stated that she was not at fault technically here, that during our time, I had a disorder that I probably should have brought to your attention. You see, I suffer from borderline personality disorder, and that one of the symptoms that I should have been treated for, particularly in our relationship, because I was in my youth, but I wasn't any longer, was borderline personality disorder. I do not know if this is true or not. However, she does claim that one of her symptoms is this kind of compulsion. Now, I'm going to stop there for a moment. I'm familiar with, identity disorders, behavioral patterns like this. But some people have them in different ways. Some people have to count a whole bunch of windows when they pass a building. Some have an identity disorder with being one person at one point and becoming another person at another. And that's basically what she's saying here. It wasn't my fault exactly. I become this other person, and then I go back to me when I'm with you. So I don't know why it reflects when you're gone that I go through this. This is very interesting because the first thing that people want to do is saying this is lies, as he's feeling this is crazy, she's full of crap, and she may well be, but impulses of disorders are true. Now, taking it to where she is taking it, I know from the people I've worked with, they created their own perspective of connecting with this personality type, meaning this personality disorder, but this had to develop somewhere. You didn't just feel sexual feelings throughout, I want to sleep with this person, I want to sleep with that person. If that is such an identity, I would imagine that a PTSD was developed way before. As she said, we dealt with this in my childhood. Perhaps there was a form of abuse, and she created this entity, this part of her that helps her cope with getting connection and love. Hence Stockholm, a whole different disorder, but a disorder nonetheless, where they feel their captive is now their love of their life for whatever reason. This person is claiming that this dissociation has made me feel that I had to create this entity for connection. And so let's hear what else he has to say as he walks in on this. So she states that her world collapsed without this compulsion. She wouldn't know how to move on with herself, and she probably would go literally crazy. So from this point, he goes, I'm shocked that I never noticed these tendencies. I'm shocked that I never seen these behaviors before. Were they masked? Were I blind to it? We had great intimacy. Was I blinded by the sex? Hard to say. Now, I've been punishing myself for the last few months, drowning in debt because I'm afraid to go to work because of this. I want to be with her, but I don't want to be with her. After all, how can I be with her knowing that she's having these sexual connections that she still claims were nothing? She's more of a different person, and these other people have no meaning. Even when she becomes this other person, it's literally just sex. There's no emotional connection or feeling for these people. But he's struggling for good reason. And now she says, I'm ready for us to go to therapy. So she's ready for them to go to therapy, but she's kept this hidden. And then when she bounces back, it's not like she's schizophrenic and she knows after the compulsion what she was aware of. And any kind of compulsion wants to be fed constantly. So when he brought this to her attention, well, how long have you been doing this? She claims that she's only been doing it for 3 years. So how? They've been together 9 years, married the last 3. So it started when we were married. And then how did you sustain yourself then before? And it only came up during our time of marriage. So these are some concerns, some red flags. Is this a truthful thing? And then do you go to therapy and do you speak to someone, and do they look at her mind or brain and see where colors are and where is her lizard brain? How does her mammal brain work? The midbrain? How does all of these things work? Is her disorder that she's emphasizing legitimate? Because they could tell by certain focuses and colors in the brain. And this is one to grow on if you're going through something and someone is claiming it was my compulsion. No, it wasn't your compulsion. I had a lady one time, I'm not saying it's not this case, but I had a lady one time that tried to utilize this defense. And so it came out that nothing emphasized in reference to the coloring of her brain what was a compulsion. It all came down to she enjoyed the idea of being desired. And it sounds very similar to what you're going through, Caesar, because when he spoke to her, when I connected with Caesar and he spoke to her, he said, okay, so 3 years you claim that this has been happening. How many partners have you had since this has taken fold, since this has taken a life? And she says, I have had an average of 2 partners a month. And so he said, so you've been in relationship with these 2 particular guys, though there was a woman this time, but let's go with this first. 2 men a month. And then the next month you go with them and again, so you have a relationship with them. She goes, no. She goes, sometimes I'll see them again a couple months down the road, but it's usually 2 new men per month. And he said, what? So it's not even 2 guys that you connected with and you just have your little orgy together. It's 2 new men per month. So you literally sort 2 new men a month for membership of yourself so you can connect with them. And then what happened? Did it get boring that now you're not only going with 2 new men a month, but now you decided to bring in a woman because I caught you with a man and I caught you with a woman? And she said, yes, that is exactly right. So here's the thing, Caesar. This is now escalating. The pattern, the compulsion, the impulse, is went from maybe one-on-one in the beginning to I'm getting desired. You're not here. Caesar drives a truck. He's a tractor trailer driver. He drives all over the country. So a part in the beginning maybe felt loneliness. I want to be wanted, connected. I need my needs met. And then she realized that people showed desire to her, showed connection, whether she met him on a mobile app site, which I'm sure there's sites for stuff like this, swingers and so on. And she's seen people wanted me, and that's exciting. And so why did you throw away the other two? Because they got boring. Because the newness of the relationship is now gone. And I want to feel that hunger for me, that wild animal that really wants me. So I don't know if that's actually falls into the impulse in reference to this disorder of bi-personality disorder. And again, I know when it gets intense, you want to feed the compulsion, but it's also the compulsion, the desire, the connection, and that want, that feel of want, which is what she explained. So my advice is to look into where you can connect, because you're having doubt still. You want to stay in this relationship, even knowing what she's done, and she's like, I'm going to get therapy and this isn't going to happen. It's only stopping because you caught her. Not because all of a sudden she can control through therapy. Yes, she says, I can get a pill, I can do this. But you knew you had this before and you've been married. So there must have been something that said, I'm still loving this desire. I'm not in that frame right now. And I can tell you, I like what I'm experiencing. I like what I'm feeling. And when you spoke to Caesar, when you asked him, about this, he goes, there's this part of me that feels dirty. There's this part of me that wants to divorce her. And I don't want to say bad things about her, because if you really knew her, she's a beautiful person. And by saying this, here's the big thing, is that just showing that despite everything that you've gone through is the reason why she had this impulse before and why you were chosen. Because of that reaction, I can control Caesar. I can control Caesar, and I could get him to play along. Maybe he'll voyeur. Maybe he'll let me do this. As long as he gets his needs, as he emphasized, I thought we had great intimacy. I thought we had really amazing connection. It really felt like everything was right. And now I feel like everything is wrong. You have to first, Caesar, focus on you and self-preservation for yourself. You have to protect yourself. You have to get out of your emotional state and connect with your identity state, that what's happening to you. And again, her pattern, compulsion, impulse, whatever it is, it's escalated. Just like any drug, it starts low, you get immune, pick up, you get immune, and that's what she did. It's now increased to one guy, 2 guys per month, 2 guys plus a woman, plus toys, plus this, plus that, and you get the visualization of what's happening here. First of all, if you do decide that you do want to go to therapy or you need closure, she's already recommended that she would go. My advice is to get that brain signal test. See when she gets this, what they see with colors, because it is a fascinating test. You just speak to your psychiatrist, to your psychologist. Where can a test, forget even going to a therapist at first, speak to someone that deals neurologically, where they can do a test, because they could always tell. Like when someone is an alcoholic and when they have that impulse for drink, a certain color will light up in the brain, or when they want Coke, or when they lose something in their brain due to one of these substances. There's tests that can be done that can register if it is such a personality trait that all of a sudden you've never seen before, but it just so happens that working long distance, it triggers it, it targets it, and she becomes this other entity. Does this other entity, this other person within her, does she have a name? Most of them do. I knew a woman, and I'll give them fake names, but she went by Candace at one point, and she would become Jackie the next. And she did this to separate from who she was when she had to be home and where she was going, because she was a dancer and she had to make money. That was not a bi-personality disorder. That was for income, and she had to, provide for her child. She was a single mom. So people will create masks to get them through certain experiences. but this sounds like something that she enjoyed. So look into that test. Look into that coloring test where they could tell you exactly how your brain responds in reference to this particular example. And there's other people you could look out there, like the people that do professional lie detecting. If you can't get something because of expense, there's people like ChaseUse.com, who was the interrogator for the CIA. Look him up. If anything, he could direct you, if not help you, or tell you someone or what to look for when they are lying. Fantastic person when it comes to finding micro expressions, as it's called, through looking at someone. He could just discover you just like that. I highly recommend that. So Caesar, I hope this was helpful. It's a shame you went through this, but if you're feeling the loss of your identity, which is a fresh wound still, write me. I could help you with self-preservation. I could even connect, because I've utilized some work in reference to micro expressions from Paul Ekman, to some work that I've been looking into in reference to Mr. Hughes, as I said, Chase Hughes, Tony Robbins' work in reference to concepts. But there's ways to focus on what you're seeing and how to tell if they're lying. Okay, so reach out to me. I could help you with that. Take a look at the email down there. Email me exclusively if you need extra help, so we can get you through this. And this goes for not only just Caesar, but anybody out there that is going through any of our stories, or any stories we haven't said yet, or something like what Caesar's going through. Email me, leave a comment in the chat that I'd like to speak about some things. Everything we do, if you want to come on the show and you don't want to be seen, well, I can blur you. I can even have a voice changer to change your voice. Come on the show. We pre-tape first anyway. If you wish to go live, we can do that as well. But we pre-tape most of them first, and then they come on the air here on YouTube. So reach out. Let's help you. Let's help Caesar by helping Caesar. Please, so you can continue to hear these stories, please subscribe, like, share, and especially comment. Thanks again. This is Greg Stewart with The Greg Stewart Show. Have a great day or evening wherever you may be.